what if death wasn't the end? What if it was just a transition, one that you could actually control consciously? Today, we're diving into a really profound idea from the philosopher Sri Aurobindo, a kind of practical immortality, a way to move from one life to the next without losing who you are. Just imagine that for a second, taking every bit of your life, all the wisdom, all the growth, all the experiences, with you into the next. In this explainer, we're going to look at a framework that's not just about some abstract soul, but about preserving your actual, conscious personality. So, how do we do it? How do we preserve the software of our being, so to speak? Well, according to this philosophy, if you want to carry your unique personality from one life to another, it's not so simple. You have to meet 3 very specific, very challenging conditions. Okay, so first, your personality has to be strongly individualized, a really distinct you, so there's a coherent self to actually preserve in the first place. Second, that self has to merge with your deeper consciousness, so it doesn't just dissolve when you die. And third, you have to be incredibly plastic or flexible, so you're ready for whatever the soul needs you to become next. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Preserving the mind is one thing, right? That would be an immense victory all on its own. But what about the hardware? Can the physical body itself also achieve some kind of permanence? For the body to last indefinitely, it would have to completely transcend our current understanding of biology. This philosophy lays out 2 pretty extraordinary requirements to make that happen. You see, the challenge is twofold. It's not enough to just stop decay and disease. That's only half the battle. The body also has to become so adaptable, so capable of growth, that it can meet any demand the evolving consciousness places on it, no matter what. Let's break this down, because it's a really cool idea. Plasticity is about adapting to new situations, like your body creating more red blood cells when you go to a high altitude. But progressiveness, that's a whole other level. It's about evolving totally new capabilities to meet future demands. And yeah, the example here is radical, controlling a jet with your mind, because it's meant to show a fundamental evolution, not just a simple adjustment. Now, I know this might be starting to sound like something out of science fiction, but this potential for physical plasticity, it isn't just a theory. There are some absolutely stunning real-world examples of what the human body is already capable of. For example, take freedivers who can descend to depths of 100 meters on a single breath. The water pressure down there is just immense, well beyond what medical science says the human body can handle. It should be instantly fatal. But their bodies pull off this incredible feat. The ribcage becomes so flexible that it actually collapses without breaking. Their entire physiology shifts, allowing them to function kind of like a dolphin. And they even avoid the deadly decompression sickness known as the bends. This shows a dramatic hidden adaptability that already exists inside our physical structure. And this brings us to the most important question of all. If our bodies are capable of these radical transformations, then what is the real reason we age and die? It turns out, the answer might not be biological at all. This philosophy argues that the ultimate reason for death isn't a failure of the body, it's a choice, a decision made for a much deeper spiritual purpose. So here's the crucial point. According to Sri Aurobindo, death is not some accident or just a biological fact of life. It is a choice made by the soul when it decides that a new body is necessary for its own continued evolution. This reframes everything, doesn't it? The physical things we blame for death, a heart attack, an illness, an accident, those are just the superficial mechanisms. The true innermost cause is the soul's decision to move on, to get a new vehicle to continue its growth. So, the soul is in the driver's seat. It can push a failing body far beyond its physical limits if it needs to. Or it can use a weak point, like a bad heart, as a convenient exit door when its work in that body is done. Mortality is reframed as a functional part of a much, much larger journey. So, when all of these principles, the immortal personality and the enduring body, are finally mastered, it leads to this incredible culminating achievement that this philosophy calls the triple immortality. This is the complete victory, the whole shebang. You have the essential immortality of the spirit, which is our true nature. You add to that the psychic survival of your conscious personality. And finally, you achieve the immortality of nature, a persistent physical form. But this isn't about stopping the process of growth. It's called the crown of rebirths because it represents a mastery over the process.
It's a profound conquest where the soul is no longer bound by the old rules of material decay and disruption.
And that just leaves us with a fascinating final thought. If our consciousness and even our physical bodies hold this incredible latent potential for transformation, this philosophy really challenges us to ask, are we on the verge of a new conscious phase of evolution? And what might that even look like?